After our breakup, she sent me a letter. I'm pregnant. It's yours, and we need to co-parent. I responded, I'll need a paternity test. She refused. How dare you doubt me? So I replied with medical records showing I'd been sterile since my childhood cancer treatment. Her next letter from her lawyer said, Original post. I, 31 male, had leukemia when I was 11. Spent 2 years in and out of hospitals. Chemotherapy, radiation, the whole nightmare. I beat it, obviously, or I wouldn't be typing this. But the treatment left me with a permanent souvenir. I'm sterile. Sperm count of essentially 0. My oncologist explained it when I was 16. The chemo destroyed my fertility. It was a lot to process as a teenager, but I've had 15 years to come to terms with it. I tell you this up front because it's kind of important to the story. My ex and I dated for 2 years. We broke up about 4 months ago. The relationship wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. She had a habit of making everything about her needs while dismissing mine. Little things at first, always picking the restaurant, always deciding what we watched, getting annoyed if I made plans without consulting her. Then bigger things. She didn't like my friends, thought I spent too much time with my family, got weird whenever I talked about work stuff she didn't understand. The breakup itself was pretty standard. I told her I didn't see a future together. She cried, called me selfish, said I was throwing away the best thing that ever happened to me. Classic. I helped her move her stuff out of my apartment over a weekend, and that was supposed to be the end of it. 3 weeks ago, I got a letter. An actual physical letter, which should have been my first red flag, because who sends letters anymore? It was from her. Handwritten on fancy stationery, with little flowers on the border. The gist was, I'm pregnant. It's yours. We need to discuss co-parenting arrangements. I know this is a shock, but I believe we can handle this maturely. I sat with that letter for about 10 minutes. Not because I was processing the possibility of being a father. I knew that was impossible. But because I was trying to figure out what angle she was playing. See, here's the thing. She knew about my cancer. She knew about the treatment. But I'd never explicitly told her I was sterile. It's not exactly first-day conversation, and by the time we were serious enough for it to matter, I guess I just never got around to it. I figured we'd cross that bridge if we ever talked about kids seriously. We never did. So either she genuinely believed I could be the father, unlikely, given basic biology, or she was betting I didn't know about my own fertility status, stupid, or she knew I was sterile and was counting on me not having documentation, risky gamble. I decided to play it straight. Sent her a text. Got your letter. I'll need a paternity test before we discuss anything. Her response came in hot, like within 3 minutes. Are you serious right now? A paternity test? After everything we've been through? I can't believe you would doubt me like this. I have never cheated on you. This is your baby, and you need to step up and be a man about it. I didn't engage with the emotional manipulation. Just replied, standard procedure. I'm happy to pay for it. Let me know when you're available. Then came the voicemail. Oh man, the voicemail. How dare you? How dare you treat me like some kind of tramp? I gave you 2 years of my life. I loved you. And now I'm carrying your child, and you want to treat me like a criminal? You know what? Maybe I made a mistake telling you. Maybe I should have just handled this on my own. But I thought you deserved to know. I thought you'd be happy. Clearly I was wrong about who you are. I saved that voicemail. Something told me I might need it later. A week went by. More texts from her demanding I accept responsibility. Her mother texted me. Yeah, she gave her mom my number at some point, telling me I needed to do the right thing and that running from this won't make it go away. I didn't respond to any of it. Just kept everything documented. Then came the kicker. Another letter, but this one wasn't on flowery stationery. It was from a law firm. A legit one. I looked them up. The letter stated that my ex was pursuing all available legal options to ensure adequate support for the child, and that I should prepare for paternity proceedings, and that my continued denial of responsibility demonstrates a pattern of avoidance that the court will not look favorably upon. They were actually trying to take me to court for a baby that couldn't possibly be mine. That's when I made my move. I called my oncologist's office and requested copies of all my medical records related to my cancer treatment and subsequent fertility testing. They sent everything within 3 days. Diagnosis, treatment protocols, follow-up testing, And most importantly, 3 separate sperm analyses from ages 16, 22, and 28, all showing azoospermia. Fancy medical term for you're not making swimmers, buddy. I drafted a letter, kept it professional, no emotion. To whom it may concern. In response to the claims made regarding paternity, please find attached my medical records documenting my sterility resulting from childhood cancer treatment. I have been diagnosed with azoospermia, confirmed by multiple tests over the past 15 years. I am biologically incapable of fathering children. I suggest your client identify the actual father of her child. Any further attempts to pursue fraudulent paternity claims against me will be met with appropriate legal action. I have retained counsel. I hadn't actually retained counsel yet, but I figure it sounded good. Sent copies to her lawyer, to her directly, and kept one for myself. Then I waited. It's been 6 days. Radio silence from everyone. Her mom, who was texting me daily, suddenly stopped. Her lawyer hasn't responded. And my ex? Nothing. Part of me feels bad. Not for her. She tried to commit fraud, but for the actual situation. If she really is pregnant, there's a real father out there who doesn't know. Or maybe he does know, and that's exactly why she came to me instead. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. But something tells me this isn't over. The silence feels too sudden, like the calm before something ugly. We'll update if anything happens. Update 1, 9 days later. All right, so the silence ended. Spectacularly. First, let me address some questions from the comments. Yes, my medical records are legitimate and legally obtained. Yes, azoospermia from chemo is well documented, and my oncologist confirmed it multiple times over the years. And no, I don't feel guilty about exposing her lie. She tried to legally compel me to pay for a baby that wasn't mine. That's fraud. Now on to the chaos. For days after I sent my letter with the medical records, I got a new letter from her lawyer. Different tone this time. Our client disputes the validity of the medical records provided and requests independent verification of your claim condition. Furthermore, our client maintains that she had no other partners during the relevant conception window and stands by her original assertion. We advise you to submit to court-ordered testing to resolve this matter definitively. They were doubling down. Even with medical proof that I'm sterile, they wanted to pretend it wasn't real. I called an actual lawyer this time. Family law specialist. Explained the situation. He laughed, literally laughed out loud, when I told him about the the validity line. They're buying time, he said. She either needs to find the real father or figure out an exit strategy that doesn't make her look terrible. My guess? They're hoping you'll settle just to make it go away. He drafted a response, much more legal sounding than mine. Our client's medical records have been provided in good faith and are fully verifiable through his treating physicians. If your client wishes to pursue paternity proceedings, we welcome the opportunity to present this evidence in court. However, we must inform you that filing a fraudulent paternity claim constitutes both perjury and an attempt to commit fraud. Should your client proceed, we will pursue all available remedies, including but not limited to recovery of legal fees and damages for harassment. Basically, bring it on, but you're going to lose and it's going to cost you. That letter went out on a Tuesday. By Thursday, things got messy. My ex's sister, who I'd always gotten along with pretty well, showed up at my apartment. I wasn't going to let her in, but she looked genuinely distraught. Not angry, just sad. Can we talk? Just for 5 minutes. I'm not here to yell at you. I let her in, kept the door slightly open because I'm not stupid. She sat down and immediately started crying. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. She told all of us it was yours. She swore up and down. My parents have been telling everyone they're going to be grandparents. My mom bought baby clothes already. Me, I understand this is awkward, but you know I can't be the father. You saw my letter. I know. I looked it up after you sent those records. Azoospermia. 0 sperm count. I get it, but she's still insisting. She says your records are fake or that maybe you had some kind of miracle. Me, there's no miracle. I've had 3 tests over 15 years. All the same result. Long pause. She cheated on you. Obviously. I think I even know who with. There's this guy she works with. She was always weird about him. Mentioning him too much, then not mentioning him at all. You know what I mean? I knew exactly what she meant. I noticed the same thing, but convinced myself it was nothing. I confronted her about it this morning. She completely lost it. Started screaming about how everyone was against her and how you'd poisoned the family against her. Then she kicked me out of her apartment. Me? Why are you telling me this? Because, I don't know. I guess I feel like you deserve to know you're not crazy. And honestly, I'm furious at her. She's made a fool of our whole family. My parents are devastated. They thought they were getting a grandchild from a good relationship. And now they're finding out their daughter cheated and then try to trap someone else into paying for it. She left after that. Apologized again. Said she'd understand if I never wanted to hear from any of them again. Honestly, I appreciated her coming by. It felt like the first honest conversation I'd had about any of this. But then came Friday. I got a call from my landlord. Apparently someone had contacted him claiming I was running an illegal business out of my apartment and that I was dangerous. He was calling to figure out what was going on. Turned out my ex had somehow found his number and called him with a bunch of nonsense. Drug dealing, noise complaints, threatening behavior. None of it true. My landlord knew me for 3 years and didn't believe any of it, but he was obligated to follow up. Then Saturday, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Hey man, this is weird, but I think I need to tell you something. I work with your ex. She's been telling everyone at the office that you got her pregnant and abandoned her. She's trying to get sympathy donations for baby stuff. She asked me to Venmo her $50 for a car seat. Is any of this real? I sent him back one line. I'm medically sterile and have documentation proving it. The baby isn't mine and can't be mine. His response, holy crap. I'm telling everyone. By Monday, I heard from 3 more people from her workplace, all asking variations of the same thing. She'd apparently been working the sympathy angle hard, telling coworkers she was a struggling single mom-to-be whose deadbeat ex refused to support her. One of them sent me a screenshot of an email she'd sent to the entire department asking for hand-me-down baby items because the father abandoned me. I forwarded that to my lawyer. He added it to the pile. The pregnant victim abandoned by her heartless ex. Reality, a cheater who got caught and tried to make someone else pay, literally. I don't know who the real father is. I don't care anymore. But I'm starting to think maybe he's figured out too. Because yesterday, someone posted in a neighborhood Facebook group asking if anyone knew a good family lawyer for a complicated paternity situation. The person who posted? A guy who works at the same company as my ex. I'm grabbing popcorn for this one. Update 2, 16 days after original post. Buckle up because this got so much messy, and then, finally, resolved. So remember the guy from the Facebook group? The one asking about family lawyers? My buddy who's still Facebook friends with people from my ex's workplace did some digging. Turns out he's a project manager at her company. Mid-30s. Married with 2 kids. Yeah, apparently, the affair had been going on for about 8 months, which, if you do the math, means it started while we were still together. The timeline of her pregnancy lines up perfectly with when they would have been, you know? Here's where it gets wild. His wife found out. Not from me. I had nothing to do with it. She found out because my ex, in her infinite wisdom, started texting this guy panicked messages after I sent the medical records proving the baby wasn't mine. Messages like, we need to talk, and you can't ignore this, and you're the only other person it could be. He'd been ignoring her, just flat out not responding, hoping it would go away, which meant when his wife saw those messages on his phone, she had questions. I heard all this secondhand from the sister who visited me. She called me 3 days ago, sounding exhausted. It's all falling apart. The guy from her work, his wife called our MOM, screaming about how her daughter destroyed a marriage, and now she's going to have to explain to her kids why daddy's moving out. Me? Wait, he's actually leaving? His wife kicked him out. He's staying at some hotel. And here's the thing. He's furious at my sister. He's telling anyone who'll listen that she told him she was on birth control, that she said the baby wasn't his, that she tried to pin on you first. He's making himself sound like a victim. Me, convenient. Right? They're both terrible. But now my sister's in full meltdown mode. The guy won't return her calls, his wife is threatening to sue her for alienation of affection or whatever, and half her coworkers won't even look at her anymore since word got out about the fake paternity thing. Me? What about the lawyer stuff? Is she dropping the case against me? Her. That's actually why I'm calling. She's not. Me, she's what? Her. She's doubling down. She told our parents that even if the baby isn't yours, you owe her emotional damages for publicly humiliating her by sending those medical records. She wants to sue you for defamation. I literally had to put the phone down for a second. Me. She wants to sue me for defamation because I proved her paternity claim was a lie. Her, I know. Believe me, I told her she's insane. My parents told her she's insane. Her lawyer apparently told her it won't work, but she's fixated on it. She keeps saying you ruined her life and you need to pay for it. I thanked her for the heads up and called my lawyer immediately. His take, she can file whatever she wants. It'll get thrown out. Truth is an absolute defense against defamation, and you have documented medical evidence that everything you said was true. If she actually files, we countersue for malicious prosecution and frivolous litigation. She'll end up owing you money. So I waited. Again, 2 days ago, I got what I'd been waiting for. A letter from her lawyer's office. Different letterhead this time. Looks like she switched firms, probably because the first one realized they were representing a losing case. The letter stated, "Our client has elected to discontinue pursuit of paternity claims against you. However, she maintains that your disclosure of her personal medical information, her pregnancy, to third parties constitutes a violation of her privacy. She is willing to forego further legal action in exchange for 1. A formal written apology, 2. A payment of $15,000 for emotional distress, and 3. A non-disclosure agreement preventing you from discussing this matter publicly. $15,000 and an apology for defending myself against fraud." I wrote the response myself. My lawyer cleaned up the language, but the content was all me. "Your client initiated this matter by falsely claiming I was the father of her child and pursuing legal action based on that false claim. All disclosures I made were in direct response to her accusations and were necessary for my legal defense. Your client's pregnancy was disclosed by your client herself in the original letter she sent to me and in subsequent communications to my employer, my landlord, and multiple third parties where she portrayed herself as an abandoned pregnant woman. I made no public disclosures beyond providing truthful medical evidence to refute her false claims. Your demand is rejected in its entirety. Any further correspondence of this nature will be treated as harassment. Should your client file any additional frivolous claims, I will pursue all available legal remedies, including recovery of fees and damages. This matter is closed." My lawyer added some extra legal language and sent it off. That was yesterday. This morning, I woke up to a text from her mother. The same woman who'd been demanding I do the right thing weeks ago. "I owe you an apology. I believe my daughter without question, and I said things I shouldn't have. I now know the truth. I hope you can move forward with your life. Please don't respond to this. I just needed to say it." I didn't respond, but I screenshot it for the file. As of right now, the situation is this. My ex is pregnant with her coworker's baby. The coworker is in the middle of a divorce. His wife is apparently going after everything she can get. My ex has been moved to a different department at work, not fired, but definitely sidelined. Her family knows the truth, her coworkers know the truth, and the guy she was actually sleeping with wants nothing to do with her or the baby. The legal threats against me have evaporated. My lawyer says there's virtually zero chance she tries anything else. It would only make things worse for her. And me? I changed my number, blocked everyone associated with her on everything, filed all the documentation away in case I ever need it again. Final update, 21 days after original post. This is my last update because, thankfully, there's not much left to tell. The final piece fell into place 3 days ago. I got a call from my lawyer saying he'd received one more communication from my ex's legal team. Not a threat this time, just a brief statement. Our client acknowledges that paternity claims against your client were made in error. No further action will be pursued. Our client requests that your client refrain from any public discussion of this matter. Made in error. That's how they phrased it. Like she accidentally accused me of being the father of a baby I biologically cannot create. Like it was a clerical mistake and not a calculated attempt at fraud. My lawyer asked if I wanted to push for anything, an actual admission of wrongdoing, compensation for my legal fees, something. I thought about it. But honestly, I'm tired. I just want this done. I told them to send back a simple acknowledgement that we received their letter and consider the matter closed. No agreement to stay silent. I'm not signing anything that restricts what I can say about my own experience. But no active pursuit of anything either. It's over. Legally, at least. Here's what I know about the fallout, pieced together from the sister and a few mutual acquaintances. My ex is about 5 months pregnant now. The co-worker, the actual father, is fully divorced. His ex-wife got the house, primary custody of their kids, and what I hear is a very generous support arrangement. He's living in a one-bedroom apartment, and, according to people who work with him, looks like he aged 10 years in 3 weeks. He and my ex are not together. From what I understand, there was a brief period where she thought maybe they'd make it work since the truth was out anyway. He apparently told her, and this is a direct quote passed through multiple people, so take it with a grain of salt. You tried to stick another guy with my kid. Why would I trust you with anything? Which, honestly, fair point. My ex's parents are still talking to her, but barely. The sister told me their dad won't even be in the same room with her for more than a few minutes. Their mom is supportive in that she's helping with practical pregnancy stuff, but the relationship is strained. The family had to tell extended relatives that there wasn't going to be a baby shower because circumstances changed. The co-workers who were donating money for baby stuff, they asked for it back when they found out the truth. Apparently, that was its own drama that I only heard about secondhand. Something about an HR complaint and a very awkward all-hands meeting. As for the defamation stuff and the demands for money and an apology, gone. Completely abandoned. Turns out when you've been exposed as a cheater who committed paternity fraud, threatening to sue the person you defrauded doesn't play well. Her new lawyer probably told her she'd be laughed out of court. And me? I'm doing okay. Not great. This whole thing took a toll. There were nights where I just sat there feeling angry about how close I came to being legally responsible for someone else's kid. If I hadn't kept those medical records, if I'd never gotten that fertility testing done as an adult, if I just believed her and tried to do the right thing, I'd be on the hook for 18 years of child support for a baby that was never mine. That's what keeps me up sometimes. How easy it would have been for her to win. Most guys don't have definitive proof they're sterile. Most guys would take a paternity test, sure, but she could have dragged that out for months, maybe years. She could have gotten support payments started before the test even happened. The system isn't exactly set up to protect men in these situations. But I got lucky. Childhood cancer gave me the one piece of evidence she couldn't argue with. Silver linings, I guess. I'm not dating anyone right now. Probably won't for a while. This whole experience made me realize I need to be more careful about who I trust, and I need to have certain conversations earlier in relationships, including the fertility thing. It's awkward to bring up, but apparently the alternative is much worse. The sister reached out one more time, just to say she was sorry again and that she hoped I'd be okay. I told her no hard feelings toward her. She was caught in the middle of her sister's mess. We're not friends or anything, but we left on decent terms. Her, for what it's worth, I don't think she's learned anything. She's already blaming everyone else. You, the co-worker, our parents, even me for siding against her. She'll never admit she did anything wrong. Me, that's her problem now. Not mine. Her, yeah. Yeah, it is. That's the last contact I've had with anyone from that family. So here's where I'm at. New phone number, same apartment, same job, same life. Just minus one manipulative ex, and plus a whole lot of documentation I hope I never need again. Someone in the comments of my first post said I should write a book about this. I don't think I will, but I'm keeping all the records in a fireproof safe, just in case she ever decides to try something again in the future. My lawyer said it's unlikely, but with people like her, you never know. The cancer tried to kill me when I was 11. It failed, but it took my fertility. For 20 years, I thought that was purely a loss, something stolen from me that I'd never get back. Turns out it also gave me an unchallengeable defense against one of the oldest tricks in the book. I'm not saying I'm grateful for what I went through. I'm not. But I'm grateful that when someone tried to use my own body against me, my body had receipts. Stay safe out there. Document everything. And if someone tells you that you're the father of their child, get that test. Even if you think you trust them. Especially if you think you trust them. Thanks for following along.